Hey, my feel good friends. If you've been struggling to show up on Instagram in a way that feels authentic and aligned, and most importantly, magnetic to your ideal customers, this episode is for you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are so many businesses out there that are just like yours, creating the same content, solving the same problems, selling the same products and services. How the heck are you supposed to stand out and make your ideal customers want to buy from you and not that Jane Schmain brand over there that's just like yours, but not as cool? It's depressing. I get it, and I'm here to help. We all know how overcrowded the Instagramosphere is. Our ideal customers are constantly being bombarded with an exhausting amount of this same content from all of these similar businesses every single day. In order to make you stand out from the crowd, we need to up your memorability and likability factor. And we can do that by leaning into those human aspects of your brand that make your customers feel like they know you, like you, trust you, and want to buy from you. So how can you do that? Well, we can start by honing in on who your brand is, which I like to call your brand vibe. If you've been listening to the pod or following me on the gram for a while, you've probably heard me shouting about your brand vibe for a hot minute now. Because next week, I'm actually hosting a free live challenge to help you figure it out once and for all. Kicking off next Monday, May 17th, I'll be hosting 3 days of live trainings to help you hone in on the 3 elements that come together to create your brand's vibe on Instagram, which are your brand's story, aka your brand's values and perspective, your brand's voice, aka your brand's personality and relationship status, and your brand's visuals, aka style and appearance. These 3 things work together to create your brand's persona on social media and can help you show up consistently week after week with the same personality and style and flair, so your audience will feel like they know you, like you, and trust you on that personal level. In today's podcast episode, I'm going to be diving deeper into each of these 3 elements and sharing some of my favorite tips and examples so that you can start honing in on your brand vibe. But I will say, if you're picking up what I'm throwing down in this episode, I would absolutely love for you to join our free 3-day brand vibe challenge now at feelgoodsocial.com/challenge. There's no way I could share all of my tips in today's single episode of the pod. So during these 3 days of live trainings in the challenge next week, I'll be diving so much deeper into these concepts and sharing my brand vibe blueprint to help you organize your thoughts throughout the week. Plus, you'll be able to chat with me directly and gain my feedback, as well as the support of all the other down-to-earth challengers, so that by the end of the week, we'll all have landed on our brand vibes together. It is going to be so much fun, and I'd love to have you join us. Just head to feelgoodsocial.com/challenge to sign up now. Okay, my friend, are you ready to dive into how you can create an authentic brand that stands out on the crowded social media platforms and makes you magnetic to your ideal customers? Let's do this thing. Hey, friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. All right, my friend, the first element of your brand vibe that I like to start with is your brand's story. And it's important for so many reasons. Firstly, as humans, our stories are made up of our experiences. And our experiences create our perspectives of the world, the values by which we live, and the motivation for what we do. So when it comes to humanizing your brand, this is super helpful. When we understand what our brand has gone through and how our brand views the world, we can show up in a more consistent manner in our social media posts and up our know, like, and trust factor with our ideal followers. Your story makes your brand who you are. It makes you relatable, unique, likable, trustworthy, and most importantly, magnetic to those people who you can best help with your offers. Plus, once you understand your brand's story, it can serve as the foundation for your messaging and content. Here's an example I often share when it comes to Feel Good Social's story. When I started my business, I was exhausting myself trying to fit into a sleek and shiny mold of what I thought an entrepreneur should be. And it was making me feel icky and inauthentic. So I started leaning more into my values of authenticity and realness and human to human connection. I started focusing on those genuine marketing tactics that made my soul feel better. And it actually worked better than when I was trying to make myself and my brand into something that we're not. So now I encourage people to use social media in a way that feels good and true to them so they can live their best life and make a positive impact in the world. Fully understanding this value and the why behind it makes it so much easier to show up in a consistent and human way for Feel Good Social. And now all of Feel Good Social's messaging and content is based in this foundational value. And it's often the point that I'm trying to make in a lot of our posts. You see what I mean? So when it comes to honing in on your brand's story, that's where I would start. Ask yourself, what do I want to support in my industry and the world? And what do I want to see change in my industry and the world? Then ask yourself, why? I like to ask my social map students and brand vibe challengers to brainstorm any stories in their life and the lives of their businesses that may have shaped what your brand cares about. And from there, we can gain a better understanding of their brand's perspectives and values and the pivotal experiences that shape them. In the Brand Vibe Challenge, I'll be sharing more tips for how to better figure out and understand all of these things. Plus, we can spitball back and forth about your brand's unique story in the group. So definitely head to feelgoodsocial.com/challenge to sign up now. But for now, let's move on to the second element of your brand's vibe, which is your brand's voice. Now, you may or may not already know this about me, but I'm totally a word nerd. And talking about your brand voice may just be my favorite because it can be super helpful for caption writing, which is what a lot of my students struggle with the most. But it really is so much more than just writing captions. Your brand's voice is actually the best representation of your brand's personality. It's where you can add that fun flair and emotion, which ups your relatability and likability factor a whole dang lot. The voice you use with your ideal customers will do the most to make your brand seem more human, which makes them relate to you and trust your brand on that deeper level so they'll feel drawn to you as a person and not just a business. Your brand's voice is also super important for setting the tone for your relationship with your ideal audience. So what I mean by that is that as a human, you speak to lots of different people in lots of different voices every single day. For example, you don't talk to your child or dog in the same way that you would talk to your boss or husband, right? So the way you speak to your ideal customers can help establish your relationship with them in the best way and make them feel a certain way about your brand. So when it comes to Feel Good Social, for example, I want to position myself as a trusted, knowledgeable guide and non-judgmental supporter for you. So I've adapted an enthusiastic, friendly, tells it like it is, sometimes nerdy, yet knows how to explain things in an understandable way tone for our content. And showing up consistently with the same personality and tone week after week makes my audience feel like they know me and can trust me. It positions me as an expert, but one that will hold your hand and hoot and holler with you as we ride this roller coaster together instead of speaking to you from a pedestal. Does that make sense? So now you might be thinking, all right, Kins, how can I hone in on my brand's voice? Well, I'll dive so much deeper into this during our challenge next week, which you should go sign up for right now at feelgoodsocial.com/challenge. But for now, I'd love for you to ask yourself, what's my brand's personality? Who is my brand to my ideal audience? And how do I want to make my ideal audience feel? Brainstorm your answers to those questions, and then in next week's Brand Vibe Challenge, we can chat all about it and how you can hone in on your brand's consistent voice. All right, now let's chat about the final element of your brand that will allow you to show up authentically and become attractive to your ideal audience, which is your brand's visuals. It's important to understand what your brand looks like and how you can create cohesive content for social media because your brand's visuals will help you attract the right people and repel the wrong people for your brand. As humans, we all have visual preferences and styles that we're naturally attracted to. So if you create a visual vibe that your ideal customers love, you'll naturally attract your ideal followers. Your visuals will also make your brand more recognizable. So your ideal followers will be much more likely to slow the scroll when your post pops up in their feed. And finally, your visuals can help your audience feel a certain way. So for example, with Feel Good Social, I want my ideal followers to feel enthusiastic and optimistic when they see my content. So my color palette is super bright and fun. There are a lot of things that go into honing in on your brand's visuals. And during our Brand Vibe Challenge, this training will come with a little extra fun homework that involves Pinterest, which I love. But for now, I want you to think about, what are my ideal customers attracted to? How do I want to make my ideal customers feel? And what kind of visual style reflects that? Then head over to feelgoodsocial.com/challenge to join our free 3-day Brand Vibe Challenge that's kicking off next Monday, May 17th. I would absolutely love to dive deeper into these concepts with you and give you direct feedback on what your brand's unique vibe is so that you can start showing up authentically on social media and make your brand magnetic to your ideal customers. Again, head to feelgoodsocial.com/challenge to sign up now. Let's do this thing together. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.